He's a big mouth, you know, a know-it-all.
Don't listen to him, he's an ink poop.
The guy is a radio genius, but he's got a hell of a lot to learn.
Right, hi everybody, it's Chris 2E0UKH in the UK, and Anytone have asked me to do a video on the new Anytone 578 mobile unit. I've had the radio for a month or two and I've been beta testing it under NDA, and eventually I can now do a video on it. So Anytone, the DMR radios, they started out with the Anytone 868. The Anytone 868 was very popular and they improved upon it with the 878. And the 878 added talk alias, roaming, and then they came out with the 878 Plus, which is the Bluetooth model. So the natural progression is, you know, keep adding to the good formula, keep adding stuff on top, and they've come out with the Anytone 578 mobile. It does have a longer power lead. I've just got it on a short. I've just unconnected it to make it look neat on the video. It comes with a great microphone with a ton of features on it, loads and loads of presets for everything on the front. It all lights up. There's an A and a B light at the top so you can see which line you're on. I'll just put that to one side and I'll show you what comes with it in the box. So I've got the UK version, which has got two bands on it, 2 and 70. There is a tri-band version for America, which also includes the 220 band. Now, so this is the AT578 UV Pro. And in the box, I'll just show you what you get. You don't need to see the box. You get a GPS antenna. A GPS antenna that plugs in the back. You get a micro USB cable. This is micro USB, and it's on the front left hand side of the radio. There's a little rubber flap and you can program the radio by putting a wire in there. Now this is better because when you put the wire in, it doesn't mute the audio, so you can leave it left on all the time with the wire in if you wanted, you know, in your shack. It comes with a mounting bracket for a vehicle and all the necessary fixings. And it also comes with the Bluetooth button, the press to talk Bluetooth button. Now this works really good on FM as well. You know, people just think it's, you know, DMR, these Anytones. These make cracking FM radios. Now you can use the press to talk, you know, through your car stereo. You can press it once and it stays transmitting, and then you press it again to stop, or you can just hold it down. And I've been strapping this to my gear stick in the car, and it's made it far safer driving, and you know, it makes a really good FM radio, a safe way to drive and cracking audio. You know, you're hearing people through the car stereo and they're hearing you through the car stereo microphone. And there's a ton of Bluetooth features in the menu. You know, this is Bluetooth done right. This is not a half-hearted attempt There's menus for everything. Hold time, push to talk, pair in, search in. Some of these radios, they don't have the proper Bluetooth protocols on them for car stereos. You can enter, there's a menu to enter the Bluetooth number that comes up on a car stereo. In the radio, you enter that and you're connected. So that's all I got in the box. But like I say, got a longer power lead. I'm just checking in case I've missed anything. So we'll get it switched on and show you around the radio. So looking at the radio itself, I'll just tell you what's on the back. On the back of the radio there's not much to look at. You've got the SO239 for the antenna. You've got a little flap that you move, and there's a external speaker socket, and you've got your power leads, and there's a heat sink. There's a fan at the back, the heat sink's on the top, and the speaker's on the top. And you've also got the socket for the GPS antenna on the back. So going through the controls on the front of the radio, you've got independent volume controls for the line A and the line B. You've got power there, and there's the light above that goes green. You've got the presets P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, each of which can be short and long press just like the other Anytones. You can go into the menu by pressing menu there, or you can also, using the clicker knob on the top right, you can press it in. One click will take you into the menus, and you come out by pressing exit. So this is your normal channel selection knob. Very good stiff click to it, very clicky, very tactile. And like I said earlier, on the left hand side there's a flap that you can put the micro USB cable in. And it doesn't mute the radio. That's the great thing. On the handheld ones, a lot of these radios, you put the Kenwood connector in and it mutes the audio. This is you can have this as a base in your shack, base radio, and it will not mute the audio. So that's handy. You can keep it connected all the time in your shack. So I'm just going to go over the things that have changed since the previous Anytones. The new features added. It's got everything that the 878 has got, but with the following other features as well. It's got 300,000 DMR database contact allocations, so it's very future proof. You've got the microphone, which has got a ton of stuff on it. It's got a speaker as well, and you can have it through the microphone, the speaker, or through the radio. You've got menu operation from the microphone. There's now 10 presets, 6 on the radio, 4 on the microphone, which can be short and long press. You've got the A, B and sub band from the microphone. You've got the menu from the microphone. You can check the temperature. There's a menu in here to check the temperature. The microphone, it all lights up, all the buttons light up, and also the AB line lights up. there's two A/B indicators. So it's micro USB programming. We've been through that. Now there's two versions of this radio. There's the USA model, which has got the 145 band, the 220 band and the 430 band. And there's the UK model, and for other countries which don't use the 220, which are just 2 and 70. Now it's a cross-band radio. So I'm just going to go through the menus with you and show you what menu, some of the basic menus we've got. And I'm going to do it from the microphone so I don't obscure the view. But I'll tell you what I'm pressing. So I'm going to press the A button, which is menu, on the microphone. And that goes into the menu. And using the up and down on the top, you can go through the different menus. And if I press the menu button again on the radio, it goes into that menu. And if I press the hash button, it comes all the way out, which is handy. All the way out, not one step at a time. Now the operation of the microphone is super handy because, if you're a fan of the Anytone radios, you can long press the 0 button and type in a talk group, even if you don't have it programmed in. A lot of people still don't realise this. So if I long press the 0 button on the microphone, just like on the 868, 878, you've got this screen, and if I press the hash, it swaps between talk group ID and private ID. So I could type in the number with the keypad, type in the number, press transmit, and I'll be unlinked. You can do private calls, all sorts of cool stuff, all from the microphone. So I'm just going to go through a few more menus. That was just to show you navigation of the menus. So menu. Most of this is just the same as what we're used to. Bluetooth, there's a few extra things in there. So I'll just come out of that one. Go into settings, radio set, speaker mode. That is where you would select which speaker you want to use, whether the one on the microphone or the radio. And let's just go into that. So you can have both. If I press the D button, it will just come back one step. That's exit. Hand speaker select. fan open. So you can check the temperature, or you can have the fan while transmitting. Let's just check the temperature. Menu exit time, that's handy. It doesn't fly out the menu as soon as you've gone in there. You can think about what you're going to do. Keyed up by accident there. So I think we went through most of the radio set ones. Channel set. New channel, you'd use that if you set up a channel in VFO and it worked and you wanted to program it. That's how you'd enter it into memory. Transmit power. Right, I've printed out the details. This is from the manual. I mean, none of these power levels you get are exactly what it says, but turbo power is 55 watts. That's what it says here. It's 55 watts at 144, 40 watts at 430. High power is 25 watts on UHF, VHF. Middle power is 10 watts on UHF, VHF. And on 220 band it's 5 watts, middle power. And low power is 1 watt across all bands. So it's useful for a hotspot. So I would guess all these things would be the same, because these are the settings that enable you to set up a channel. You know, color code, slot, or whether you're in analog, tones. So this is APRS as well. Pressing menu to go in. So you've got low, medium and high and turbo. So that's looking at the settings in the menus. Right, so because a lot of things have changed on the radio from the 878, the CPS software has changed. There's a few things that have changed, but if you understand the 878 software, 868, it will look virtually identical, but there's a few changes. Let's just swap over to my other monitor and have a look at the CPS. So I'm just going to go full screen. And zoom in a bit. You know, we don't need to look at the channel. You know, the right hand side is mainly the stuff on the left. So just go through the menus first. So all of this is what we're used to. All of this is the same. Digital radio ID list, talk groups. Now, this is pretty neat. This is the DMR database. This is where the DMR database goes. So I'm just going to zoom in on that part. Because what I'm trying to show you is 300,000 DMR database capability. And I'll have the final thing I'll do. I'll look in optional settings and see what's changed in there. Now, notice this in power on mode. There's no MCU reboot. There was a setting on the 868, 878 to turn that off, and that's why people were having trouble getting into the mode to initialize the radio. If you flash a firmware, you must initialize the radio. If you see videos, people doing it without initializing the radio, that is incorrect. You have to initialize the radio. If you don't, it can lead to problems. So Bluetooth, press to talk, hold. If you've got that set, you have to hold the button in to talk. And if you don't, you can click it once to transmit and click it again to disconnect. So everything's very, very similar, the same in the CPS for display. You've still got all the nice colours. FM radio. I mean, it's got if it's got FM radio, you could put it in you could mount it in your car and take your car stereo out. It might fit in there. Use it as an entertainment. Right, GPS ranging. Power save, it's all the same. VFO. This is where you set up a search limit when you're in VFO mode, and this is the scan type, whether it stops on the frequency or goes past it after whatever amount of seconds. Now this is the main one that's changed. Key functions. Look at this great lot. You've got all your normal ones. You've got key lock, all the P's, but it goes up to P6. Short key PA, short key PB, P, C and D. That's the A, B, C, D on the microphone. Knob lock. I mean, that's pretty handy. That's a new one. Side key lock. Forced lock key. So these are the ones on the radio, P1 to P6, and these are the long press of the A, B, C, D, and over here is the short press of the A, B, C, D. So I don't think there's many other changes, because there doesn't need to be. of the squelch level for different lines, which is good. Priority zones, weather, speaker mode, microphone or radio or both, that's a new one. Fan control, so you can set it to PTT or temperature. Hand speaker path, master or slave. So they've really thought of everything here. Volume, so you can have it so it doesn't go too loud and blast everyone out and wake people up at night who are in another room. Digital function. So these are the hold times, digital hold time. You know when you get the blue light that says digital, it's dark blue. When you've got the digital hold, it goes light blue, turquoise. And these two, digital group hold and digital private hold, these refer to manual dial when you long press the 0, or if you go to manual dial from the menu. And I always have these on infinite. The top two are for group call hold time and person call hold time. I normally have these about 5 seconds, but I have had them all on infinite and that works well. All these are the same. Digital monitor. So that's everything that's changed in the CPS. So I'm now looking at the manual for the Anytone 578, and I'm just showing you guys the specifications. At the top, it's got frequency range. Europe 144 to 146, 430 to 440. Australia 144 to 148. .420 to 450. Tri-band. It's got the 2 and the 70, and it's also got 222 to 225. I wouldn't know if that's. I mean, it's going to be correct, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't look familiar to me. 4,000 channels. Power supply. Requirements 15 amps. Got the size there and the weight, in terms of technical sensitivity, readings, transmitting part. So you can read that yourself. Turbo, it says 55 there. I wouldn't expect any of these to be spot on, but it's a guide and it's a powerful radio to use in the car. It doesn't have a detachable front head unit. So there you go, that's the specifications. I'm just going to whiz through the manual, see if there's anything of interest. I got this offline, off the internet. I just searched for Anytone 578 PDF manual. So there's your accessories that come with it. Optional accessories. trying to find you a picture of the back of the radio because I didn't want to turn it round in my shack because it was powered on. Yeah, so there's the front of the radio, there's the back of the radio. It looks, you know, that microphone connector looks like, you know, like an Ethernet connector type sort of thing. And I think it could be called that, an RJ45. Not certain about that. So on the back you've got the GPS antenna, external speaker connector. See, it says there external speaker connector B and A. So that's interesting. So you've got the fan on the back and the SO239 connector. On the top there's a great big heat sink. So you've got the microphone wire in there. So you've got the key lock on the right, which I didn't show. Speaker at the bottom, microphone at the top. Hotkey settings. Anyway, you get the idea. Thanks for watching. Bit of a long video, but a lot of people want to know all about this radio, and I will be doing a ton of more videos on this radio, programming them. You know, there's new, you know, to get into the different modes, to get into DFU mode, to program it. Because we've got all these different buttons, we've got to learn the new key presses to get into the different modes. So I'll be doing things like that, programming it in the future. Right, 7-3, 2E0 UKH, Chris in the UK, back to standby.